Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Jennifer's Body, released in 2009. Jennifer's Body has an interesting history. It was written by Diablo Cody right after she upset the film industry and won a writing Oscar for her debut screenplay Juno, which was directed by Jason Reitman, who served as a producer here. Juno was renowned for its distinct dialogue, and Cody continued that quirky character writing in Jennifer's Body.
You're totally jello. You're lime green jello, and you can't even admit it to yourself.
The film stars Megan Fox shortly after her breakout role in Transformers and its sequel, which instantly made her a sex symbol, a status she was pretty uncomfortable with.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being sexy. It's just the problem that that part was so loud that it muted out the rest of who I was.
Also doesn't help that it brought her a lot of derision and criticism that she has definitely since proven wrong. You got an unfair rap, Megan. But because she was still thought of as the chick Michael Bay made wash his car, gross, Jennifer's Body was advertised with her sex appeal dripping all over it, leading one to believe it was a movie meant for horny teenage boys, a historical and reliable horror audience. Instead, Jennifer's Body is a horror comedy told from a female perspective that doubles as an allegory for female sex empowerment, with a side of sapphic curiosity. Because of the deceptive marketing, it underperformed at the box office, though it has since been reevaluated as a film ahead of its time. Directed by Karin Kusama, who also directed the fantastic slow burn The Invitation, Jennifer's Body stars Megan Fox as Jennifer, a high school cheerleader kidnapped and inadvertently turned into a succubus. There aren't a ton of horror movies about succubi, but they're basically sexy demon ladies who prey on men through seduction. Oh yeah, the movie also stars, and is actually told through the point of view of, Amanda Seyfried as Jennifer's friend Needy, although you wouldn't really know that from the trailers. All you would know is that the two of them make out. Come and watch, horny boys! But if the horny boys watched, they saw a story about friendship and revenge, with a few bloody kills scattered throughout. How many kills? Well, that's what I'm here to tell you. The movie begins in a suburban home where Jennifer Check lies beneath a canopy of emo bands as her window-stalking friend Needy begins her narration.
Hell is a teenage girl.
If you didn't hear that line in the version you watched, don't be confused. I'm using the theatrical version here, but there is a director's cut that has enough significant changes to warrant a cut comparison. I'll make that for you sometime next year. Anita Needy Lesnicki is in a correctional facility staffed by people like Raymundo here, played by Dan Joffrey, who was a security guard in Halloween Resurrection that got killed by Michael Myers. Needy gives the audience a voiceover narration about her institutionalized life and how she's super kicky nowadays. See? Muy kicky. Needy gets thrown into isolation, where she decides to take the audience back to the past, when she was less kicky and more normal.
Well, as normal as any girl under the influence of teenage hormones.
Needy and Jennifer are from Devil's Kettle, a small Minnesota town named after a waterfall that drains into a seemingly endless whirlpool.
Maybe it's another dimension. Or, just really deep.
2 months ago, Jennifer was a popular high school cheerleader, and Needy was a frumpy-looking dork, even though, we can all see what Amanda Seyfried looks like. Come on. Despite their different social standings, the two of them have been friends since their diaper days, with Needy feeling especially fondly towards Jennifer.
You're totally lesbi-gay.
I forgot to mention that, for better or worse, this movie's a perfect time capsule of 2009. Case in point, the way Jennifer heard about a band she wants to see that night.
I saw their MySpace page.
Needy gets ready for the concert as her boyfriend Chip laments that she always does what Jennifer wants, even though they don't have a lot in common anymore. Shut up, Chip. Don't talk about her biff like that. Jen picks her up and they head to Melody Lane, this small town's only music venue. It may not be much, but it's good enough for Star-Lord, because 28-year-old Chris Pratt is here in a small role as a townie, early enough in his career that he still had to introduce himself.
My name's Chris Pratt. I'm an actor.
The place has also got a pretty cool bartender, played by writer Diablo Cody. She asked to do this cameo herself, thinking it'd be fun. It wasn't.
Standing around in an apron for 12 hours and doing nothing. So boring. Acting sucks.
The city-bred band Low Shoulder arrives, an attractive sight for Jennifer, who knows exactly how to get what she wants.
These are like smart bumps. okay? You point them in the right direction and shit gets real.
She introduces herself to her choice tasty morsel, lead singer Nikolai, played by Adam Brody, who was the sad drunk brother in Ready or Not. Though she's fully confident around the local guys, Jennifer's a bit nervous talking to this more cosmopolitan rocker. A nice shade to the character that I feel is often lost.
They have this really awesome 9/11 tribute shooter. It's red, white, and blue, but you have to drink it really fast or it turns brownish.
All right, well, we'll drink it fast.
Also, having a 9/11 themed cocktail in this small town bar is absolutely hilarious. While Jen's at the bar, Needy overhears Nikolai in a split diopter shop telling his bandmate that Jennifer's probably a virgin. And although Needy tells him that's true, hoping it'll make them leave her alone, it's definitely not.
I'm not even a backdoor virgin anymore, thanks to Roman.
Low Shoulder plays an entire song called Through the Trees, which you're gonna hear constantly throughout this movie. It's an admittedly catchy song and will really get you in the mood for some hand-holding. Oh, that's nice. Through the Trees was actually performed by indie rock band No Country. Adam Brody is lip-syncing here, while No Country drummer Sal Cortez and vocalist Ryan Levine play members of Low Shoulder. Jennifer seems to fall under some sort of spell as a mysterious fire ignites from the stage and spreads throughout the tavern. Though Nikolai doesn't seem too surprised by it, there is an ensuing chaos, during which I see a woman stampede and a bunch of folk on fire. Though I only counted 5 on screen, I'm putting 7 on the list based on a number given later by a school teacher played by J.K. Simmons. Needy helps Jennifer escape, but then a very casual Nikolai approaches them and convinces the unresponsive Jennifer to drink some booze and come with him to his van, despite Needy's protestations.
Needy, just stop it. Shut up.
Yeah, obviously this scene evokes date rape, which makes it all the more infuriating when you see Nikolai's smug smile towards Needy. Your van's not even that cool, dude! Later that night, Needy gets a surprise visitor in her kitchen. Oh shit, a zombie! Wait, that's not a zombie. It's just Jennifer, covered in blood and acting pretty weird. Unless, I don't know, maybe it's normal for her to eat rotisserie chicken off the floor. People love Boston Market, okay? Jennifer scream burps a whole bunch and then vomits out some black goo that looks like friggin' Pharaoh fluid. She's all kinds of messed up, and Needy can't even call anyone with her flip phone before Jennifer's throwing her against the wall and feeling on her smart bombs.
Are you scared?
Don't be scared, she's just a nibbler, Needy. Okay, this is boring now. Jen out. The next day, to Needy's shock, Jennifer appears completely fine at school, except for the fact that she's being mean to her bestie.
What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Besides the obvious surface flaws.
I will say one problem I have with this movie is that I can't tell how out of character that line is for Jennifer. I know she and Needy have been friends since they were little, but she's been saying snappy, snarky shit this whole damn movie.
It smells like Thai food in here. Have you guys been fucking?
Also, fun fact, the actor playing young Needy there, Megan Charpentier, would go on to play Bev's lead bully Greta in the 2017 It. Needy tries to tell Chip about Jennifer's late night snack attack, but he chalks up the tale to trauma since the tragedy of the Melody Lane fire has washed the whole town over with grief. One guy super affected is football player Jonas, and after school, Jennifer approaches him saying she's sorry he lost his friend Craig, one of the 7 people who died at the bar. She says she wants to make him feel better and leads him into the woods where their makeout sesh quickly attracts an audience full of critters. I guess they're waiting to see the show. No, not that show, horny teen boys. The show where Jennifer pushes Jonas back and then attacks him with a super big scaramouth. The J.K. Simmons teacher finds his dead body later when it's being snacked on by a deer. Jennifer's not around because she's already had her fill. Instead, she's far away, swimming naked in a lake while Celestial Crown's The Sword plays on the soundtrack. I had to mention the soundtrack at some point. It's a who's who of indie bands from the time, including Panic, Dashboard, and Florence and the Machine. Much like Jen, this soundtrack is smoking! Like she's got steam coming off of her. See? I guess she's part Targaryen or something, judging by the way she's licking at that flame.
I am a god.
While the Melody Lane fire and the recent death of Jonas has got everyone in town feeling low, Jennifer doesn't let it bother her, outshining all the desaturated mopes around her. The twin stories become national news, and Low Shoulder rides it straight into Fame Town, buoyed by a false report that they heroically saved people during the fire.
It's true. It's on their Wikipedia.
Through the Trees even becomes the tragedy's unofficial anthem.
Through the trees.
A month later, though, Jen's looking a little lifeless.
I feel like boo-boo.
Or boo-boo, as it were. But not boo-boo enough to stop her from getting asked out by this gothy guy, Colin.
There's a midnight showing of Rocky Horror at the Bijou next weekend.
I don't like boxing movies.
Colin's played by Kyle Gallner, who was Quentin in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, a character that somehow became a survivor in Dead by Daylight instead of Nancy frickin' Thompson. What the fuck? Jennifer agrees to a date with the dude, although she seems to be more interested in Chip lately, even commenting about his appearance on the phone the other night.
You know, Chip is looking really cute to me lately.
But Chip's high school boy bedroom is reserved for Needy, where the two of them are free to get shirtless in peace. Grumpy! His moves look a little amateur there, but at least he bought the gentleman's condom.
Slippery swirl.
Yeah, it's supposed to make it feel good for the girl.
Cool.
Colin, meanwhile, is following a text from Jennifer and winding up at some row houses. Careful, dude, this looks like where Marlo Stanfield was stashing those bodies. He gets to the only house with a light on in the middle of this deserted street, and sure enough, finds a candlelit fuck pad inside, complete with Snoop Dogg and Akon playing. And don't ask what song, you already know. Jennifer finds him standing there and tells him how much he turns her on.
You give me such a wetty.
While across town, Needy and Chip finally get down to business.
Put it in.
Straightforward and direct. I like that. Chip starts pumping away with great concentration, but Needy becomes distracted by some blood she sees on the ceiling and the truly scary vision she has of a dead Jonas in a chair with Jennifer perched over him. That's just a vision though. Right now, Jen's in the ratty row house, getting all scary-eyed and openly attacking Colin.
I need you frightened.
Oh, she's like a sexy Pennywise. No, that's not what I meant. Jennifer kills Colin by ripping him apart with her teeth. And while it's technically off screen, it's done in a cool silhouette style. One that lets you see how tiny Megan Fox got for this role, reportedly getting down to 97 pounds. Don't be afraid to fill up on the blood and guts there. A distressed Needy flees from Chip's house and drives past Jennifer in the road, looking like a Hollister Slender Man or something. Needy gets home and tries to go to bed, only to find Jennifer waiting for her there. And she is in quite the mood. Yep, it's time for the moment made for advertisements. A lengthy lesbian makeout sesh that apparently Amanda Seyfried was uncomfortable filming. Fox was more okay with it, likely owing to her bisexuality, and although it ended up being used for the misleading marketing campaign, Diablo Cody says it was meant to show how Needy is, on some level, in love with Jennifer. Needy pulls away from the tonsil tennis and asks Jennifer to finally explain herself. She does so with a flashback. After leaving Melody Lane, Jennifer began to realize that low shoulder probably wasn't on the up and up.
Are you guys rapists?
Oh, God, I hate girls.
Worried about what they wanted to do with her, Jennifer reiterated that she was a virgin, but that lie and her attempted escape did nothing to deter them from their diabolical plans. They take her to Devil's Kettle to enact a ritual that begins with Jennifer tied down. It's a sacrifice to Satan to make them as big as Maroon 5, with instructions printed out from some website Nikolai found. He's a real heel as he goes to kill her, bragging about his glam murder weapon.
Bowie knife. Bowie. Nice.
And singing Tommy Two-Tone to make a joke out of Jennifer's name.
Jenny, don't change your number.
He stabs her a whole bunch as part of the sacrifice, and even though she comes back with her body partly controlled by a demon, I think this kill counts enough to go on the list. Nikolai discards the Bowie knife into the endless whirlpool, then presumably does the same with Jennifer's body. She doesn't remember anything else until she wound up at Needy's house that night, dripping wet and hungry for chicken. The chicken wasn't enough to satiate her hunger, but lucky for her, after leaving Needy's house, she ran into a foreign exchange student named Ahmet, who was lost after surviving the Melody Lane fire. Don't worry, I didn't include him among the 7 victims I counted earlier. I already subtracted him from the number given to us in dialogue.
We lost 8 precious students, including Ahmet from India.
When Jennifer realized that nobody else would know he survived, she led Ahmet into the woods to kill and eat him off screen. That's why she was in such super spirits the next day.
And when I'm full, like I am right now, I'm like unkillable.
Yeah, dog, she's got them Wolverine powers now.
It's like some X
X-Men shit, right?
Hey, references are my job, Jen. You get out of here. Sure, through the second-story window, if that's what you want. Whatever works for you, lady. The complicated relationship between Jennifer and Needy is what makes this movie so unique and interesting. Diablo Cody wanted to write about a childhood friendship that turns toxic in its teen years amidst the emotional chaos of adolescence and puberty. It's what drew Megan Fox and Karin Kusama to the project. This chance to explore how friendships between teenage girls have a sort of assumed cruelty to them.
Women are in constant competition with one another, always, even when they love each other. And I think it's a sickness, and I think it's fucked up, and I think it's something that's depicted perfectly in this film.
As I mentioned in the intro though, the film was marketed as a showcase of Megan Fox's sex appeal. In fact, there was even an ill-conceived and ultimately abandoned plan to have Fox promote the film on an amateur porn site. Perhaps the best example of the disconnect between the women filmmakers and the men marketing the movie came when Kusama and Cody asked about the film's tagline on a poster, "She's got a taste for bad boys." The response, they said, sounded like it came from a caveman. "Jennifer sexy, she's still your boyfriend." Needy takes to the school library to learn about succubi and discovers you can kill them by stabbing them in the heart. Though a through-the-tree spring formal is approaching, Needy tells Chip she can't go with him because it's too dangerous with Jennifer around.
Jennifer's evil.
I know.
No, I mean, she's actually evil. Not high school evil.
She says that when Low Shoulder tried to use the impure Jennifer as a virgin sacrifice, it transferred a demon into Jennifer's soul, which is why she's a literal man-eater now. Boy blood keeps her vibrant, and that means the dance is a high-risk event.
It'll be like an all-you-can-eat buffet.
In an effort to keep Chip from going there, Needy all but breaks up with the poor guy. Aw, maybe you can still get with knives though, dude. As everyone gets ready for the dance, Jennifer finds that she's in need of some rejuvenation. You can cover up splotchy skin, but kinda hard to put hair back once it falls out. Needy, styled horrifically by her mom played by Amy Sedaris, heads to the formal in a poofy-shouldered pink nightmare and stays vigilant for Jennifer, wanting to prevent any future murders. Little does she know, Jennifer's not there. She's sneaking up behind Chip as he's walking to the dance and telling him lies about Needy having cheated on him with Colin.
I mean, they were porking on a semi-regular basis.
She comes on to Chip, and after a salty makeout sesh, the two of them head to an old abandoned recreation center or something. At the dance, Low Shoulder hits the stage to play the same damn song for like the upteenth time. Needy realizes that if Jennifer's not there, then Chip might be in danger, so she runs off to find them. They're inside the rec center by a decrepit swimming pool, a great place for a climactic set piece that was dressed by production designer Arvinder Grewal, who transformed the location from a pristine white swimming pool to the nasty overgrown cesspool you see here. He sadly passed away just a couple of months ago. Rest in peace, guy. Jennifer tries to start sucking face again, and when Chip stops her because it feels weird, she tosses him into that nasty green water that the actors had to spend 3 or 4 days shooting in. Megan Fox didn't seem to mind though.
I love being covered in blood and shit and puke.
In fact, all 3 of the young leads, Fox, Seyfried, and Johnny Simmons, seem to have fun despite the long, soggy shoot. Looks like they really got along with each other on set. Jennifer's beaten the ever-loving Chip out of him when Needy gets there and finds her nomming on his neck with a seriously scary face. Her succubus jaw was probably the most involved effect of the film. Legendary makeup artist Greg Nicotero designed a lot of different options for it, many of them more graphic than what the movie ended up going with. It was accomplished through a combination of practical prosthetics applied by Mike Fields and some digital effects in post-production done by VFX supervisor Eric Nordby. It was a complicated process that involved combining shots of Megan Fox, a stand-in wearing a chroma green application in her mouth, and a little puppet guy. Needy jumps into the pool and gets Jennifer away from Chip, but you just can't keep a good succubus down.
She can fly.
She's just hovering. It's not that impressive. God, do you have to undermine everything that I do?
Needy tells Jennifer that she's always been a shitty friend and that she's no longer socially relevant, which is enough to make Jennifer want to kill her.
I thought you only murdered boys. I go both ways.
But Chip stabs Jennifer through the torso with a pool skimmer, stopping her advance on his girlfriend. As he falls to the ground, Jennifer pulls the skimmer out, then decides that now's a good time for her to leave. There she goes. Needy tends to Chip, but it's too late for the bloody boy. They tearfully say that they love each other, and then he dies in her arms, leaving Needy quite defeated and crying over his body. We wind up back where this movie began, with Jennifer still frail and unfed. That's why Needy decides it's a good time to make her move, jumping in through the window and wrestling with her on the bed. Jennifer bites Needy's neck, but then Needy pulls out a box cutter, the scariest of bladed tools.
Do you buy all your murder weapons at Home Depot?
God, you're butch.
There's some slashing and floating, air wrestling and choking, but it's not until Needy yanks the Biff locket from around Jennifer's neck that Jen falls to the bed. Needy lands on her with a stab straight to the heart. And you know what the heart's behind, don't you?
My dead.
Yep, that's anatomy. This is how the Biffs were found by Jennifer's mom, and that's how Needy wound up in the correctional facility. She tells the audience that Jennifer's bite transferred unto her some demon powers, specifically the power to float, and super kick out windows. Glad that Needy's new powers allowed her to
Blow this pop stand!
Needy walks along the road and stumbles across the exit point of the Devil's Kettle Whirlpool, then keeps on walking through dusk when she gets picked up by Lance Henriksen, who was an AVP and, more notably, Aliens as the android bishop. The movie ends with him driving her towards a low shoulder show in another town. But don't X out of the kill count just yet. There's a mid-credits sequence showing that the sacrifice to Satan worked, and that Low Shoulder is a big-time rock band now. Of course, fame comes at a cost, and Low Shoulder's 5 members are tracked down and killed off screen by Needy. The kills are only shown in crime scene photos, which, gotta say, is a bit unfulfilling. Adam Brody played such a disgusting scumbag, and I'd really like to have seen him murdered on screen. I guess I'll just have to settle with his death being how the movie ends. Killed by his own Bowie knife by Needy, who escapes among Low Shoulder's screaming fans. How many bodies did I have to count, Jennifer's or otherwise? Well, I'll tell ya, because I'm a kill counting god. There were 18 kills in Jennifer's body, with the victims consisting of 3 unknowns, 11 males, and 3 females, with Jennifer dying twice. That's what we call a double check. With the theatrical version's runtime of 102 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 5.67 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to Jonas. It's our first look at Jennifer's succubus face, and the gore is good when he becomes deer food. Doll machete for lamest kill will go to Amit, killed in the woods by Jennifer off screen. And that's it. Jennifer's Body came out in 2009, and though I don't always love the Diablo Cody dialogue, I'm glad its reputation has been refurbished lately. Next week, you'll get your kill count a day early, because I've got the 2019 Black Christmas for you coming out on Christmas Eve. Until then, though, I'm James A. Janice. This has been the Kill Count. Thanks a lot for watching this extra Kill Count. I know this movie means a lot to a lot of people, so I hope I did it justice. Also, for this Kill Count, I live streamed my rewriting process, which I've never done before. It was kind of cool. If you want to catch me on live streams, you can find me at twitch.tv/deadmeatjames. Thanks everyone. Be good people. Now I'm gonna go eat that chicken.